So I'm here with Vicky Price, who's kindly come to talk about her experience of how she got into learning NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming, timeline therapy and hypnosis. And I think the best way to start off is by, Vicky, you just introduce yourself and say a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I'm a business owner. My business is Creative Communications, where I help businesses with their marketing. I'm also a single parent with 4 children at home, and I met Fenella. I met you at a network, an away thing a few over a year ago now, and there was something about the way you talked about NLP. And there was a confidence you had around what you did that I found really intriguing. And I was like, that stayed with me. And I know we spoke a bit about it at the time, but I didn't really understand what Neuro Linguistic Programming is. I had a kind of a vague idea. And then a year ago now, last August, I experienced a bit of a block in my business and personal life, where I think after 2 years of lockdown, working at home with all my children, I basically burnt out. And it was so much so that I was finding it really hard to work and to be positive and really make my business work. And therefore it was impacting my personal life as well. And instinctively, I thought, I need to work with Fenella. And something just felt right about it without me really understanding, will this be the answer to what I need right now? And it absolutely was life-changing. Totally transformed my way of thinking. My head was clearer. It's really hard to put into words. It was a life-changing experience for me, to the point where I wanted to learn more about it, which is why I then went on to do the NLP training, because it was so transformative and so powerful. And there was no one single thing I'd ever experienced before in kind of coaching or personal development that had such a quick and such a long-lasting effect with very little effort on my part.
Wow. Well, thank you, Vicky. I'm really touched, and I really appreciate you saying that you decided straight away to work with me, and I had that impact on you. I'm very touched by that. So you then, after you had this you had some coaching and you had the results, then you decided to train in Neuro Linguistic Programming as well.
Yeah, I was just absolutely fascinated, and there was like, it wasn't even a should I do this, it was a I really want to do this.
Okay. Oh, excellent. And so what was your experience? You went through the training with the other participants. How have you used it? Well, you could say a little bit about your experience of the training, if you like, if you can remember that. Yeah, what was your experience?
I loved the training. I loved how thorough it was. There was a lot of, even the pre-study and doing the test and everything was just, it felt like I was really properly learning. I see there's a lot of things flash up on my social media, like learn this in 7 days type thing. And I don't think anything would have replaced what we did. Those intensive 9 days were it was like going on a bit of a journey, and it was unfolding all the way along. And it was just, I really enjoyed it. Just being able to take that time out of my business to learn something new was exciting in itself. What I found after the coaching, I thought, oh, am I really going to get an effect from the training on me as well as learning how to work with NLP?
Yeah.
And I did. I remember doing a couple of really minor things that really, really transformed things in my personal life in an enormous way, which I never expected. Since then, I just don't have to try. It's just there. It's part of me. My thought process is totally different. I don't go into, there's things that just aren't part of my language and aren't part of my thoughts that used to be part of my thoughts. There's been a little bit of relearning going on, like planning, because the strategies I'd used up to now, which were based on how I used to live, don't work anymore because it's not there. Like being very reactionary, waiting for kind of a bit of panic to kick in or something before I took action. Because that's not there anymore, I'm more proactive. So I plan for these things rather than wait, because nothing kicks in. That anxiety and panic doesn't kick in. It's just all gone. I don't have to try. And if I do find myself getting a little bit stressed about something or something not working, I've got things that I can refer to. But mostly I don't, because it's just there. It's just changed. Everything's changed, and it just naturally is part of me now.
I think that's one of the really interesting things that come out of learning NLP. It's not actually, and I'm really glad, it's not actually something you pick up and then you put down and you take out of the box essentially, and are going to do a process or a technique. That you've really incorporated it into your life. It's become, essentially part of your personality, a part of your way of thinking. And that's exactly what I really encourage all of the students to take away with them as part of their learning, because it in that way, it, as you said, really transforms the way that you do things in life, and the way that you do things becomes easier, essentially, more often than not. Would that be correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like everything in my life is easier. There's I don't know how to word it. There's kind of an efficiency in how I do everything, whether it's my personal, professional life, that wasn't there. I get a lot more done in less time, because all of I don't know, it's just like, I'm just so much more efficient with everything. So, and my work is really, is improved so much because of it, both how I deliver my work for my clients, but also I'm attracting many more clients to me, and the right type of clients, because I think I'm just who I'm being as a result of all the training is attracting those people to me.
Oh, that's excellent. And that idea you talked about, being more efficient, because that's one of the fundamental principles behind NLP is actually you're modeling excellence. So you having modeled excellence and you are practicing it during the training, you are now embodying that excellence and being much more excellent in the work that you're doing. So
yeah, even down to cleaning my kitchen. There's a different way of doing it, which is quicker. It doesn't like bother me at all. It just happens like boom, 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 it's done.
Oh, and I imagine that sort of thing is really important when you've got 4 children.
Yeah, and no dishwasher. Yeah,
no dishwasher. Yeah. And then, what would you say? Could you think of one of the biggest benefit for you of learning NLP? And you did timeline therapy and hypnosis as well. So
yeah, I mean, I can't separate it out, the coaching I had and the training. And I think the timeline therapy did stand out as just like mind-blowingly simple, and for the effect that it had, so easy and cleared so much. It just, that singly changed everything. And then I think the process kind of, when I think back to the training, there was so much we learn, but it just all kind of flows nicely into each other. And so I think the hypnosis was really interesting. I really loved learning that. And I do a lot of hypnosis, listen to a lot myself, and I really understand how, I really experience how powerful that is. So I think those together, I like to like the magic. They're kind of like having a little bag of magic tricks. And those for me were, because I like anything that I can't explain, like, wow, how did that work? Yeah. That I love.
And in your life, what would you say is the biggest benefit of learning NLP? Is there anything that really stands out?
No more, the anger's all gone. It's just very, I would get frustrated and overwhelmed and angry quite quickly, and there's none of that. That's all gone, totally gone. So much calmer, able to deal with situations, don't get stressed out, the stress is gone, and all of that just it affects my work in such a positive way, because I can have a really, really busy day and there's no burning out. It's just, my whole life is easier in every single way, and especially the way I show up in terms of networking and meeting new people and all of that, dealing with the online world. there's just kind of nothing there anymore that bothers me about any of that. I'm much more able in every area of my life.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And just one last thing. It can be a difficult thing to get your head around, explaining NLP. A little challenge for you is how do you explain it to other people, or how would you explain it to somebody who really, you know, because it is a difficult thing to grasp until you've experienced it.
I think, yeah, the name doesn't do it justice. It sounds really kind of formal and sciencey, and yeah, I do struggle explaining it. So I just like to say it's like magic. You don't have to talk about it. It just solves all your problems like that, and it's done. And then you have tools for kind of planning and leaning. I mean, there's so much to it that I can refer back to, and probably, you know, the more I learn, the more I progress with it, the more tools I will have. But I think it's just becomes it becomes a way of doing things and a way of life, and it's just like magic. It just solves. I think it's on one of the books, it says it solves 99% of problems, and the rest, well, I think the fact that it solves the problems probably means we don't create so many problems as well.
Yeah.
So I don't create problems. I was always a good problem solver anyway, and I've just got really good at it now. I don't know, magic, that's the only way I can say. Sorry.
So anyway, for anyone else out there, the terminology, if you haven't heard it before, or the description, sometimes people call it a user's manual for your mind. So essentially, NLP enables you to really understand and get to grips with how your mind works, how other people's minds work, and how to actually make your mind and other people's minds work for you and for them. Essentially, it's again, it's a problem solving thing. It just works on patterns. It doesn't work on stories. It works on how we do things in our mind. Once we understand that, yeah, we can change all of that quite simply, and then solve, yeah, as you said, 99% of the problems, and yeah, not create so many in the future.
Yeah, there's no drama. All the drama's gone.
Yeah,
well, there wasn't that much, but yeah, yeah, it's very hard to put into words, because it's such a big, you've got to experience it. I would recommend anyone experience it, work with it, then you'll know.
Then you'll know, and you'll see how your life changes,
Yeah,
as it did mine too. So hence I went all the way through to become a trainer, because yes, it was life-changing for me too. So where next, Vicky?
I'm hoping to do Master Prac next year. I just fascinated by it all, and just want to, so don't know what after that. I'd like to start considering how to use what I've learned, whether or not I start practicing, or whether I just integrate it into my business and life. It's had such a profound effect anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm just fascinated to experience more of it. Okay. Can't get enough, really.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to share your experience, because yeah, it's so important that people get to see. It's all very well I can talk about it till the cows come home, but yeah, when you've got somebody else who's experienced, as you say, the magic of it, yeah, it makes me all the more excited as well to continue. Thank you very much, Vicky. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.